Did you know that when Gareth Edwards' Godzilla roared onto screens in 2014, it redefined the modern monster movie? In a landscape cluttered with forgettable creature features, Godzilla 2014 stood out by blending awe-inspiring visual effects, a grounded but realistic tone, and a respectful homage to the legendary kaiju that inspired it. Yet as the MonsterVerse expanded, many fans began to question where things went right and where they went horribly wrong. So, before we unleash the beast and break down the details of this film, a real quick ask that if you're new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, please take a second to hit that subscribe button now. It's one small click for you, but a huge deal for us. Now, let's step into the world of Godzilla and find out what worked, what didn't, and why this film resonates with audiences even as the franchise evolves. Number 1. Visual effects and cinematography. At the heart of Godzilla lies an uncompromising visual spectacle that transformed the way we see monster movies. Directed by Gareth Edwards, the film's groundbreaking visual effects and cinematography not only brought the iconic kaiju to life, but also established a new standard for scale and realism in the genre. Right from the opening scenes, the film's cinematography grabs your attention. Long, immersive tracking shots, much like those found in war epics, draw us into the chaos of a world on the brink of disaster. Every frame is meticulously composed, whether it's the sweeping vistas of a ruined cityscape or the intimate, trembling close-up of a civilian facing an otherworldly threat. The camera doesn't just document the destruction, it makes you feel the immense scale and raw power of Godzilla. The visual effects in Godzilla are nothing short of groundbreaking. Godzilla's design is a masterclass in modern creature creation, a blend of homage and innovation. Although the creature appears chubbier than traditional incarnations, every curve and ripple in its form is calculated to suggest a believable weight and mass. The film's MUTOs, massive unidentified terrestrial organisms, also deserve praise for their design. They're not mere generic monsters, they're intricate, almost organic textures and fluid, menacing movements add a sense of life and menace that is essential for a film centered on nature's fury. Yet there's a bittersweet note to this visual triumph. While the effects are a marvel to behold, some critics argue that Godzilla himself is too much of an afterthought. Despite the stunning sequences where Godzilla unleashes its atomic breath with a jaw-dropping precision, most notably the scene where its searing blast meets a MUTO head-on, the film sometimes underutilized its titular character. The human story often takes precedence, and by the time Godzilla roars into full view, the build-up feels both epic and frustratingly brief. Number 2. A grounded tone. Realism in a monster movie. One of the most distinctive features of Godzilla is its unwavering commitment to a grounded, realistic tone, an approach that distinguishes it from the more bombastic, campy iterations of its predecessors. In a genre often dominated by spectacle and over-the-top action, this film opted for a sense of realism that permeates every frame, creating an atmosphere that is as much about human vulnerability as it is about monstrous destruction. Unlike many monster movies that revel in fantasy and hyperbole, Godzilla grounds its narrative in the real world. The film's focus on the military's response, the palpable fear of everyday people, and the measured, often bureaucratic reactions to an existential threat lend the movie a sobering realism. This approach resonates deeply with audiences. There's a visceral authenticity in the way characters grapple with the unknown, as if the threat of Godzilla could emerge at any moment from the depths of the earth. However, this grounded tone is a double-edged sword. While it enhances the film's immersive quality, it also leaves the human storyline feeling generic. Many viewers have noted that despite its impressive visual effects and meticulously crafted set pieces, the human characters sometimes lack the depth and complexity needed to fully engage the audience. The film's narrative focus on global catastrophe and military protocol, while effective in creating tension, occasionally overshadows the emotional stakes that could have elevated the story even further. Furthermore, the deliberate restraint in tone means that certain scenes which could have been electrifying instead come off as clinical. The human element is treated with a seriousness that sometimes borders on cold efficiency, an approach that, while authentic, can feel emotionally distant. The film's commitment to realism is admirable, but it also risks undercutting the emotional power of the kaiju encounters. When Godzilla finally appears, its impact is undeniably awe-inspiring. Yet the build-up feels almost measured too carefully. leaving audiences wanting more of that raw, unpredictable energy that only a monster movie can really deliver. Number 3. Honoring the legacy, a tribute to the original. For decades, Godzilla has been more than just a monster, it's a cultural icon. The 2014 reboot, while a modern reinterpretation, pays homage to the legacy of the original Godzilla films in ways that both honor the past and push the character into new territory. Edwards' film meticulously incorporates elements of classic kaiju cinema while updating the mythology for a contemporary audience. From the moment Godzilla's silhouette emerges against a stormy sky, there's a sense of reverence for the creature's storied history. The design cues, the rugged scales, the powerful stance, the distinctive dorsal fins are all nods to the original 1954 Godzilla, yet reimagined with modern visual effects that make the creature feel palpably real. This respectful treatment of Godzilla's iconography is one of the film's major strengths, serving as a bridge between old-school monster films and today's blockbuster expectations. Yet, there's a delicate balance to maintain. Some fans have critiqued the film for sidelining Godzilla in favor of a more human-centric narrative. While the homage is clear in every frame, Godzilla's screen time is often brief, leaving many wondering if the King of Monsters is truly the star of his own film. The focus on the MUTOs and the military response, though effective in building tension, can sometimes overshadow the legacy that the character carries. It's as if the film, in its quest to modernize the franchise, inadvertently diminishes the awe that has defined Godzilla for generations. Number 4. Monster design and characterization. In Godzilla 2014, the design and characterization of the monsters, both Godzilla himself and his adversaries, plays a pivotal role in defining the film's identity. One of the film's most lauded achievements is the meticulous care given to bringing these colossal creatures to life. The MUTOs, with their intricate textures and imposing otherworldly presence, provide a fresh take on the kaiju mythos. Their design is both innovative and respectful of the genre's roots, offering a compelling counterpoint to Godzilla's legendary form. Godzilla's portrayal in the film is a study in contrasts. Redesigned to be more massive and weighty than previous incarnations, he embodies both vulnerability and raw power. The creature's chubbier appearance and subtly reworked dorsal fins are intentional choices, lending him a sense of realism and believability, attributes that are often absent in fantastical monster movies. The film's focus on the MUTOs also deserves attention. These creatures are not just generic adversaries. Their design and movement exude a life of their own, suggesting a complex ecosystem within the MonsterVerse. Their interplay with Godzilla creates a dynamic that is both thrilling and symbolically resonant, a battle between order and chaos, nature and the unnatural. This juxtaposition elevates the conflict beyond simple monster brawls, imbuing it with thematic depth that speaks to the broader narratives of balance and destruction. Yet, this intricate monster design is not without its flaws. Critics have pointed out that while the visual effects are stunning, the film's narrative sometimes loses focus by juggling too many elements at once. The human storylines and military response often take precedence, causing Godzilla and the MUTOs to appear sporadically rather than as central pillars of the story. This choice, while perhaps a deliberate attempt to ground the film in reality, can leave audiences feeling that the true stars of the show are underutilized. Number 5. Music and sound design, the sonic force of the monsters. In a film where visuals and action are paramount, the music and sound design of Godzilla 2014 serve as its pulsating heartbeat. Composed by Max Richter, the score is both haunting and majestic, an auditory landscape that elevates every scene from the ominous silence before the storm to the earth-shattering roars of the kaiju. Right from the opening moments, Richter's score sets the tone, using minimalistic, brooding melodies that build suspense and anticipation. The music doesn't merely accompany the action, it interacts with it and underlines the emotional weight of the unfolding chaos. When Godzilla emerges, its iconic roar is paired with a surge of orchestral power that feels both triumphant and foreboding. This moment of auditory brilliance perfectly encapsulates the film's core, a blend of raw elemental power and precise cinematic artistry. The sound design in Godzilla is equally impressive. Every footstep, every rumble of the earth, and every clash of metal is rendered with an almost tactile precision. The MUTOs' movements are punctuated by deep, resonant sound effects that emphasize their monstrous scale, while the military's communication, a series of crisp, clear commands, creates a stark contrast against the chaos of destruction. It's this balance that makes the soundscape of the film so immersive. The viewer is drawn into a world where even the subtlest sonic detail contributes to the overall tension. Yet not everything in the auditory realm is flawless. Some critics have noted that while the score is evocative, it sometimes lacks a memorable recurring theme that could have further cemented its status as a masterpiece. Despite this, the overall impact of the music and sound design is undeniable. They work in concert to amplify the film's grounded tone, transforming simple action sequences into epic moments of cinematic grandeur. Moreover, the interplay between diegetic and non-diegetic sound in Godzilla is masterful. The film seamlessly weaves in ambient sounds, such as the distant hum of urban life or the unsettling creaks of damaged infrastructure, with Richter's sweeping compositions, creating an atmosphere that is as much about what you hear as what you see. Number 6. Narrative and pacing. While Godzilla excels in technical prowess and visual spectacle, its narrative and pacing, particularly the human storylines, have sparked a fair share of debate, as previously mentioned. The film's human subplot, designed to ground the colossal monster action in relatable reality, walks a tightrope between engaging drama and tepid mediocrity. On one hand, the film takes a realistic approach by focusing on the military's coordinated response to an unprecedented threat. This series of tense, tightly edited sequences creates a palpable sense of dread as the world braces for an unimaginable catastrophe. The human characters, ranging from weathered military commanders to everyday civilians caught in the chaos, add an emotional dimension to the unfolding disaster. Their struggles and vulnerabilities are meant to mirror the audience's own fears and uncertainties in the face of overwhelming natural force. However, this focus on the human element is not without its pitfalls. The human story often seems generic and underdeveloped compared to the film's technical achievements. While the massive, awe-inspiring battles between Godzilla and the MUTOs are rendered with precision and grandeur, the narrative surrounding the human characters is sometimes thin, lacking the depth and nuance necessary to fully engage the viewer. In several key moments, the film's pacing seems to falter, lingering too long on bureaucratic meetings or military briefings that, though realistic, do little to heighten the emotional stakes. Additionally, some of the human characters are treated more as plot devices than fully realized individuals. For instance, Aaron Taylor Johnson's role as a soldier, though competent, is overshadowed by the film's broader spectacle, leaving little room for genuine character development. Even as the tension builds towards the climactic confrontation, the human storyline feels like an afterthought, designed more to provide context for the monster mayhem than to stand on its own as a compelling narrative. Yet, despite these shortcomings, the human element in Godzilla does serve an important purpose. It reminds us that even in a film dominated by titanic monsters and spectacular destruction, the true impact of the disaster is felt on a personal, human level. The film's intermittent moments of introspection, where characters reflect on loss, resilience, and the fragility of civilization, offer brief but poignant insights into what it means to face the unimaginable. These moments, though sporadic, help to balance the grandeur of the monster action with a reminder of the real-world stakes. Number 7. Legacy and cultural impact. As the inaugural film in the MonsterVerse, Godzilla 2014 holds a unique place in cinematic history. Despite its narrative shortcomings and the occasional misstep in character focus, the film's legacy is undeniable. It not only revitalized the iconic kaiju for a modern audience, but also set the stage for an expansive cinematic universe that continues to evolve, albeit with varying degrees of success. In paying homage to the original Japanese Godzilla films, Godzilla 2014 reintroduced the world to the King of Monsters as a force of nature, a colossal, awe-inspiring creature that embodies both beauty and destruction. The cultural impact of Godzilla is profound. Its box office success, grossing over $529 million worldwide, demonstrated that there was still a massive appetite for high-quality monster movies, even in an era dominated by superhero franchises. The film's influence can be seen in the subsequent entries in the MonsterVerse, though many argue that none have managed to recapture the energy of the 2014 reboot. While later films have often been criticized for diluting the focus on Godzilla or overloading the narrative with additional monsters and convoluted human storylines, the 2014 film remains a benchmark, a reminder of what can be achieved when technical innovation meets a respectful, albeit modern, approach to storytelling. In many ways, the legacy of Godzilla 2014 lies in its ability to evoke both nostalgia and innovation, a tribute to the enduring power of a mythic creature reimagined for a modern age. It is a film that dares to be both grand and grounded, an audacious blend of technical wizardry and emotional resonance. As audiences look back on its impact, it's clear that while the MonsterVerse has had its ups and downs, the 2014 reboot of Godzilla remains a touchstone, a film that defined a new era for the king of monsters and set a high bar for all those that would follow. Godzilla 2014 is a film that dared to reimagine a legend for a modern audience. A monumental achievement that blends cutting-edge visual effects, a grounded tone, and a respectful homage to a cultural icon. In the end, the film stands as both a triumph and a cautionary tale, a movie that reached incredible heights while also highlighting the challenge of adapting beloved legends for contemporary audiences. It invites us to celebrate what it did right and learn from where it fell short. But hey, that's just our opinion. What do you think? Did Godzilla 2014 capture the true essence of the King of Monsters, or did it leave you wanting more? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into Hollywood's most ambitious and transformative films. This video is made by movie fans, for movie fans.